Welcome to the UK Niner podcast, part of the Across the Pond Sports Network. Now, here are your hosts, Matt Walker and Neil Baldock.
What's up, everybody? It's the UK Niner podcast back on your screens, brought to you in association with the Across the Pond and Sports Network. I'm Matt Walker, and as ever, with my co-host, Neil Baldock. How's the West Coast, my man?
It's all good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. Looking
nice.
forward to
these. Had a little bit of rain this morning, dude. It was so nice here.
It's raining now, right? It's raining here right now. Yeah, it's good.
But the weather, it hit 100 degrees here at the start of the week.
Man,
it was a bit warm, but now it's eased off a bit. But yeah, I mean, the Pacific Northwest in the summer, dude, is beautiful. The mountains and the trees and the waterfalls, it's beautiful. But but it's chilling off a bit now, thank goodness.
Yeah, well, it's chilling off here a little bit, but it's forecast to go up to the high 90s again midweek here for a couple of days. So it's as much as, I mean, I quite like it. I like having a proper full summer rather than just a couple of weeks. It's cool.
Yeah. I mean, we're fortunate. We got air conditioning in our house, so we have a bit of respite. We can dive into the cool. I tease my friends who don't have it. I've got to go home and put a hoodie on because it's too cold in my house. They don't appreciate that.
See, I haven't got a fridge anymore. Our fridge broke this week, so I've just had to order a new big American fridge. So yeah, we're struggling to keep things cold. Anyway, we digress. Right, first things first, normal stuff on the shows we do every week. Name that Niner starting off with. Then we've got Neil's Niner Nuggets. Then we're going to, training camp is upon us, so we're going to just dip into training camp and who to watch. I know we did a bit of a preview a few weeks back, but it's actually here, so it's now time to start talking about it. Quiz time at halftime. Neil's got some blind ranking of some NFL franchises and their values, which I'm going to completely crucify, get it completely wrong. Then we're going to have a look. The jersey schedule drop for the games for this season this week, so we're going to have a look at when we're in these, when we're in what Neil's got on, etc., etc. And then finally, in the fourth quarter, we're going to dip. Now the World Cup's done, we're going to dip into having a look at Premier League teams. So if you're a Niners fan out there and you're looking for a soccer, a Premier League team, we may well try and go, right, if you're a Niners fan, this might be good for you, and see where you go. So all sounds good, mate, yeah?
Let's do it.
Right. Well, you know what's coming up first, though. We can't go anywhere before. Well, can't do anything before we actually challenge you and get those brain cells working. Here we go.
Name that Niner.
Now, I was looking at these. I've got a load lined up for you, and I was looking at these. And I always think to myself, how difficult can I make it? Or how easy should I make it? Because obviously when I look at it, I know it is because I've looked. But you're kind of not only thinking of 53 players from one season, you've got to go way back in the archives. So I know it's a bit of a challenge. But anyway, let's throw this one up there at you.
Let's see what it is.
Oh, can you see that?
Wow.
Just made it a bit small. Right. Okay. So didn't even start with the Niners, this one. It was only with the Niners for 1 year in that 2019 season. But you will remember him because obviously that 2019 season was the run to our first Super Bowl.
Oh, dear.
Or the first Super Bowl of this era.
He's been around a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Give me I don't know, dude. This one's a challenging one.
What do you want? Do you want? We'll go narrow it down, but not too quickly. So offense to begin with. Offense. A skill position in the offense.
You're talking receiver, I'm guessing.
Talking receiver.
Yeah. Is it Sanders?
It is Emmanuel Sanders. Yes, it is indeed. Yeah, and that's why I kind of thought to myself, with all those other teams there, but if you think about the 1 year he was with us, and Jimmy just missed him in the Super Bowl, didn't he? Otherwise, we could have taken that one against the Chiefs, and he played a big part. I remember he played a big part in the New Orleans game where Kittle led the monster run on fourth down.
Yep.
And I think we picked him up mid-season. Did we pick him up mid-season?
I can't remember when we picked him up, but dude, that was a hard one. That one actually hurt my brain a little bit.
Did that? Yeah, you did that quick though. You did that quick. I only gave you offense skill position. You went receiver, Sanders, Bush. But again, you think of Emmanuel Sanders and the impact he had. To say he was only with us for 1 year, he was so impactful during that run.
And you're never going to forget that play in the Super Bowl either. So
no, not for good reasons. But
no, but
hey,
there we go. Yeah,
good work. All right, nicely done, my friend. Right, okay then. Let's move on, get things cooking.
First quarter.
Time for Neil's 9 and Nuggets. This might be the last kind of week, Neil, where it is quiet as we hit training camp. I know you've done your due diligence as you always do, and what have you found for us this week?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is wish Mr. Shanahan a speedy recovery. I don't know if you got the graphic up there, but there it is. So yeah, apparently this is back on July 14th, so they've waited a while to release it. But he was involved in a pretty serious car accident. I'm looking at stuff here. He broke his nose, 3 ribs and his hands. He broke all of those. 40 stitches in his face, and
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing right now, it sounds like, is still suffering from a bit of a severe concussion. So yeah, you see there that the coordinators are going to take it on the training camp, but we'll see how it goes. But fortunately, we do have really good coordinators, with some of them with really good like head coaching, obviously experience. So it may be a little bit awkward at the beginning of the training camp, but it sounds like as well. I just saw something from John Lynch that he doesn't expect him to miss week 1. But even so, just saying things like that makes it sound way more serious than it probably is. And so, yeah, that's pretty crazy. So just wish him well.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw something just before we started recording this tonight, whereby apparently he was at training camp. He was stood at the side observing training camp with his arm in a cast. And I also saw the interview with John Lynch where he was talking about, he's, like you say, he's got these broken ribs, he's had stitches in his face, etc., etc. But the most worrying thing is the concussion. And John Lynch said, we've got ways of handling concussion protocols for players and for staff and for coaches. We haven't, but what we're doing is putting Kyle in the concussion protocol, and the fact that he's been out today actually observing training camp is obviously it's a good thing. But for me, you talk about injuries, and obviously we've been hit so hard with injuries over the last few years, with Ricky Pearsall getting shot 2 years ago and everything that went on last year. Goodness me, how are we going now with our head coach at the beginning of the training camp, being in this condition? You just hope it's not that kind of precursor to what we're going to experience again this year.
Yeah, hopefully this is, I don't know. I just don't know what to make of it, honestly. It's just wild. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. It sounds like the other guy was okay as well. I heard a report on that. Sounds like nothing was involved. There's no police reports written, anything. But yeah, just speedy recovery. And talking a bit about training camp, well, I think in the next quarter, we'll probably talk a bit more, just a little refresher on what to look at.
Sure.
But the main thing is got 4 players on the PUP, so physically unable to perform list. So they're the people with footballing injuries that can't make it. So that's going to be Kittle, Michael Williams, Arthur Collins, and Isaac Guerrero. But the big news is that we're going to get Nick Bosa's not on there, and neither is Mr. Warner. So that's good news.
Yeah, and they were looking real sharp. I'm sorry, I'm just fiddling with this and getting all my captions wrong. But I saw this come out, and firstly I saw the PUP list, and I thought, oh, already. But like you rightly said, Neil, this is very much a kind of a hangover from last season. We expected these guys to be on it, didn't we? Obviously, Kittle and Williams with their Achilles and the ACL. Collins had shoulder surgery, and Guerrero struggled as well. So that's good. Like you say, the bonus is seeing Bosa out there from the initial pictures, and obviously seeing Fred kind of walking in ready to go and looking enthusiastic, and that's a huge bonus for us. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the big thing is on here is like all 4 of these guys, they count against the 90. I looked it up because I was like, what does the PUP really mean? They count against the 90-man roster for training camp, but they can literally pull them off at any moment. Like it could be tomorrow, it could be this afternoon. Whenever they're ready to go, they'll be back on the field. So, yeah, nothing too major there, I don't think. And as you said, expected. Obviously, with Kittle trending towards hopefully making game 1 of the season. So,
absolutely, yeah. Good stuff.
Okay, next one was kind of interesting. I thought was the Niners recently worked out the UFL MVP Jack Plummer as they continue to look at quarterback depth. He was undrafted out of Louisville, and he spent some time with Carolina. And then he went to Orlando Storm. So he led the league with just over 2,000 yards passing. But his touchdown to interception ratio was good. So 17 touchdowns, only 1 interception. But obviously, we already got Purdy, Jones. Obviously, we spoke about those guys a lot. Curtis Rourke and Adrian Martinez. So I don't know, maybe they're just running something over. There was some talk about maybe this is going to be a precursor for a Mac Jones trade. I read about that the other day as well, but I don't know. I think they're just kicking the tires on him to see what he's got.
Yeah, I think like we spoke about the quarterback room a few weeks back. I mean, they're they're happy with those four, but I think depending on what they find with Rourke and Martinez in camp, and then like you say, if they're really happy with one of those as a backup, do you then trade Mac Jones and then, as you said, then bring in this Jack Plummer to serve as almost your practice squad arm? So yeah, like you've said in the notes you've made, it does feel like more like due diligence just to make sure that they've got every base covered.
Yeah, I think so. So, but then more roster moves is Niners added Tanner McLaughlin. So we spoke about Dinkins, I think, a few weeks ago, and I think I was pretty high on him. I thought he had a good chance of making the team, but he looks like he had a non-football injury during the offseason. So they've waived him. Obviously, they can always re-sign him to the practice squad, but they brought in Tanner McLaughlin, and honestly, both of them are kind of like roster bubble guys anyway. But he's McLaughlin's 27 years old. He went to Cincinnati. Most recently Arizona, where he's not done too bad, really. Nearly 80 passes for nearly 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns over 2 seasons. So he's got something, but obviously not a rookie. But yeah, I think we're just obviously with that injury to Dinkins, just looking to add a bit of depth for the training camp.
Yeah, and again, like you, I don't know a great deal about him. I was aware he played at Arizona, and the fact that he's played at Arizona at all and made their 53, that's promising that he's got that NFL experience as well. Yeah, and again, it then almost puts more pressure on the likes of Rucci and Braden Willis to try and perform in training camp, doesn't it? And we always talk about like iron sharpening iron, and anytime you can put pressure on somebody else, someone's going to benefit from it. So yeah, let's see how that plays out.
Yep. Some more stuff regarding the Seahawks, but
yeah,
man. So if people don't know, there's a HBO program, Hard Knocks, that follows the teams, and this year it will be the Seahawks. So I think they're going to be the first reigning champions to do it, and I think they announced next season is going to be the Ravens, maybe. So yeah. Anyway, so not only do we have to suffer the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl and being the defending champs, now we get to watch them more on TV as well. So I don't know, dude.
I won't be tuning into that, mate. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Probably worth a watch to see what they've got, but anyway, that's crazy. That yeah, but I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think they were the kind of team to go for that. I don't think the Niners would ever go for it. I didn't think they were. Maybe it's to do with a change. Not obviously it's scheduled before the change of ownership, but it kind of feels like that's something the Seahawks wouldn't have done in the past. So we'll see.
Yeah, interesting move, but like you say, you'll have to tell me what that's all about and what goes on, because I will not be paying that any attention whatsoever. Yeah, Debo!
So, yeah. So apparently he wanted another shot with the Niners. But it's pretty much stated here that obviously the Niners have moved on, but apparently he was a bit frustrated with how quickly the Niners signed Mike Evans. Apparently Debo and Kyle, they spoke about it. They had a little chat. And I think the surprising thing is he only lasted 1 season in Washington. And so didn't play out well. Certainly not the Debo that we're used to. Yeah, maybe it would have been fun to bring him back. I think a few of the players have been saying about, hey, floating the idea around, but I think it's clear that the Niners have just moved on, especially with Evans.
Yeah, absolutely. I read reports as well that he's in probably the best shape that he's been in for a good while since he was with us in his glory days, if you were. And whenever you get players with name players like that who have made an impact on your squad, it's always kind of it's almost fairy tale to bring them back, isn't it? And fans like us, he did a lot of good for us, and he was that Swiss Army knife, and Carl used him in so many different ways. But for me, the fact we've got Mike Evans now, who brings a different skill set, and Kyle's never had that skill set before with that big, tall, rangy receiver, and he now gets to work his magic with somebody like that. I'm more interested to see what Mike Evans can do in this Kyle Shanahan offense than get Debo back when we know what he does, and maybe he's not going to do it at the same quality that he did before. So yeah, it would have been nice from a sentimental point of view, but I think it's a business, isn't it? And you're making business moves.
And who knows? I mean, obviously, training camps always happens, obviously, with injuries and stuff. So, I'm sure I'm sure someone of his quality will find a team.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of nice that he wants to come back to the Niners as well. Obviously.
Definitely.
So that speaks
Definitely.
volumes. Yeah, and then now a little bit of a Kittle watch. I think you can bring up the first one. This is a wild story. This is on the one of the podcasts he did.
Does it surprise you?
No, I don't know actually. I know Shanahan is down in Cabo a fair bit. Him and McVay used to seem to be down there a lot.
Yeah.
In the postseason. But yeah, I mean, do you want to talk this one?
Yeah, okay. Well, as it is, there was an interview, wasn't there, with Kittle, and he talks about the time where Kyle Shanahan challenged him to a fight. And actually, I mean, if we could have got the video, it's much better with George saying it. But we go down to Cabo every year to hang out. Probably like 4 or 5 years ago, we're golfing with Kyle at his course. I think it's just me, my wife, and him and his kids. Me and Kyle are enjoying ourselves, having a couple of drinks, and I think it's hole 50 and 60, and he's like, "I think I can take you in a fight." I was like, "Really? You think you can take me in a fight, Kyle?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think I could." And I'm like, "All right, bring it." So Kyle kind of rushes George. George picks him up, puts him over the shoulder, walks him down to the beach, to the ocean, and said, "You stick to coaching and I'll stick to football stuff." I just love that relationship. You know, we're talking 4 or 5 years ago. We're talking 4 or 5 years ago. So obviously George has been in the league now like 9 years. But when George first came into the Niners, he was quiet. He was reserved. So okay, we're kind of talking year 4 or whatever. So him and Kyle have got that relationship. But I just love the fact that I can't imagine many other NFL coaches having that relationship with their players. And I don't know if you saw a couple of pre-seasons ago, Kyle on a rooftop throwing a football across the street into a fridge or into an oven or something.
It was like
and
they
Kyle
were grilling either side of the street, weren't they? Like barbecuing on the roof.
That's right.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah.
And Kyle just seems to be this. He still wants to be one of the players, one of the boys, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does. But I think, like you said, it speaks to the relationship between him and the players, and I mean that takes a lot. I mean, if you're going to pick up your head coach and dump him in the ocean, I mean that's a fun time. But yeah. But then also it was a pretty interesting podcast. He was with Chris Sims, I think it was. I watched the podcast. There's a couple of other things Kittle talked about. He was impressed in how the Niners have handled the Ayuk situation, so on and so forth. But then he went in and started defending Purdy again as well. I was talking about that. He was pretty simple point made. He was just saying there's plenty of quarterbacks with talented teammates have failed. And he just feels that Purdy still gets overlooked because he doesn't look like a superstar. And he talks into the fact that, he walks into a game. There's a store over here called Kohl's. I don't know what the similar stuff over there. Maybe Marks and Spencer or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But it kind of like he made fun of him. Like he walks into the games like he dresses like so like vanilla and plain, and he just shows up and just performs. And yeah, and it's just I think it was just good how like Kittle's clearly become a leader, huge leader on this team, and looks after his quarterback is what you want.
Yeah, definitely. We've mentioned this before about the fact that he was Mr. Irrelevant. He's never going to get that sort of kudos and that sort of. It's always going to be overlooked. You think of the likes of Kurt Warner, who obviously was out of the league, and then Kurt Warner came in. He was very similar, very understated, but he came in, did the job, got the respect of his teammates in the locker, and obviously went on to win the Super Bowl with the Rams, with the St. Louis Rams back then. But it strikes me that Warner and Purdy are very similar types of characters. They know that whatever they've got, they've had to work hard for. It's not being just handed to them. And they've always been. I mean, what's the Kurt Warner film called? Underdog. Yeah. So and it's very much that same sort of idea with Purdy. So you look at somebody like Kurt Warner, who's done it and was in the Arena League himself for a while with the Barnstormers, then gets picked, and you just hope that Purdy's story ends in a similar way.
Yeah, and I think so. Even with Brady, I mean, Brady was a late draft pick. How many years did it take? He took him multiple Super Bowls for him to get the recognition that he deserved.
Yeah, sure.
And so anyway, but it's just it's a little bit of fun to round out the Kittle news. But yeah, it's a pretty quiet week. There's still a few nuggets out there, but hopefully we get some more news coming out of training camp ready for next week.
You've done well to trawl those, mate. You've sifted for gold and you've found the gold. You've found the nuggets that we needed. Good work, my man. Right, okay, let's move on.
Second quarter.
So the second quarter is that training camp has arrived. Rookies reported a while ago and vets are now in. So I suppose, like you put the actual top of your notes, coming into this 2026 season, there are a lot of things to fix with the 49ers. Have the coaches, the GMs, all the scouts, have we really fixed the 49ers heading into 2026?
Yeah, it's a tough one because I know we did the training camp preview a few weeks ago now. So
Yeah.
hopefully this won't go as deep into that. But yeah, I mean, obviously they're not a broken football team, right? I mean, 12-5, you lose to the Super Bowl champs, although it was a pretty big loss. Brock Purdy's healthy, Fred Warner's back, Nick Bosa should be getting back. Obviously Kittle, you had Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Dre Greenlaw. So it's at that case, how we brought in those players that just, fill the cracks, and it also adds a little bit of depth into the team as well. So if injuries do happen, are we ready to adjust? And I think we're looking better. I think we're looking a better team than last year. Although I kind of feel like the division may be a little bit harder. We spoke about the PUP list earlier, so there's 4 players on there, so we don't need to review that anymore. But yeah, I think there's a few things to look at. So yeah, I think we should just go through a few players and maybe position groups and what the people should look out for while training camp's on.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's start with the main piece then. And the main piece that Kyle's built his offense around over the past 4 years or so is CMC.
Yeah. Clearly one of the best players in football. We spoke about him getting comeback player of the year, the ESPYs, but just touches the ball just far too often. So that's what we're going to be looking for in this is can we find a reliable second running back to take that pressure off him? And I think that's going to be the one thing in training camp that I'll be looking out for probably the most.
Yeah.
And see if we can find that reliable backup.
And I don't want to dwell on it because we've mentioned this already, but can Kyle convince CMC to share more of the load? But also, can Kyle convince himself to give more of the load to the likes of Kalen Black and those guys around him? But yeah, so CMC definitely. I'm with you. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the second string, third string halfbacks can produce at camp.
Yeah, and like I think you come up with a really good point there. It's like, man, if you've got like that cheat code in your backfield, even if he's like ran into the ground, it's got to be hard, right? You're going to be like, okay, I need a touchdown. He's exhausted. 12 games, 13 games into a season, you just continue. And, maybe you're chasing a playoff spot, maybe chasing the division title. It's hard not to play him, but yeah, we'll see. I think the next.
But we know. So just on that point, we've said this before as well, and we've heard from CMC's dad. We've heard of Ed McCaffrey, haven't we? Christian's his own worst enemy because he wants to play so much, and Kyle again is his own worst enemy because he will. All right, Christian, do you want to play? I'll keep you in. It's that, but it's got to. When we say about Kyle being one of the boys, Kyle has made tough decisions in the past with players and contracts, one thing or another. But he's got to be strong enough to kind of go, I want you in January, and I can't have you in January another year older if I'm running you into the ground by week 5.
Yeah, I don't know how it works too much in the NFL and this stuff. I mean, obviously, like in baseball, you put players on a pitch count, you check them out. I mean, I don't know if that's the approach as these aging players get into it. Maybe I'll look into that a little bit. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, as you say, it's hard not to play someone like CMC every minute of every game. Receivers, obviously we got Evans, but I think the main one to look at in training camp is going to be Ricky Pearsall. We saw him play. I like him. I like his route running. I like his attitude. I think he's got great hands. And I think the talent is clearly there. My kid loves him. I think Logan just loves this guy. But yeah, staying healthy, winning those routes, and just becoming the reliable week-to-week weapon that we need to offset, give a Kirk and obviously Evans a chance to break open that coverage.
He's not proved it yet, but we say so often that the best ability is availability. And unfortunately with Ricky, that's one thing he's really struggled with here.
Yeah. And then I'll just jump the next one, but I'll go, then it's the same thing with Stribling as well. 33rd overall pick, a huge investment. A lot of teams feel like we overreached, but then I've also been reading recently, a few weeks, a lot of teams had him around the same point as well and would have grabbed him if he was available. So maybe he's the opportunity, but that receiver room is obviously really crowded. And but maybe he needs to do that. Is he drafted for the future or is he ready for now?
there's sometimes, isn't there, other teams will chip in and go, oh no, it was a reach. But given the same situation, I've seen a number of teams saying they'd put him as their number one receiver on this draft board. So it's all well and good when somebody else picks him to go, oh, you've gone wrong there, secretly going, damn, I wish we'd have used him brilliantly. But like you say, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how ready he is to make an impact this first year.
Yeah, I think so. And then John Lynch has come out and said basically, well, we know this. The defensive front wasn't good enough last year with the backups. Mm-hmm. So he took Romello high. I think we're both pretty high on him. I think he's going to be good. Speed, athletic. But yeah, hopefully he can have a really strong camp, make the entire D-line just deeper, and help to repair that pass rush. It was a big challenge last year, obviously with Mikel coming back, and then obviously like Bosa. So who knows? It may be, you know what it's like, can only be one or two players can make a huge difference in the depth. So maybe he's the one to look out for.
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing about this team is that you mentioned all the players that we've got back and how good they are, but they're an aging team, so we need the youth to produce. We need height. We need Alfred Collins and CJ West in their second year to produce. We need Stribling. I think we do need Stribling because are Evans and Christian Kirk going to stay healthy all year? You'd be a brave man to bet on that. But so, yeah, we've got to take some of the pressure off these older guys. And whether it's Kittle, whether it's CMC, whether it's Evans, we've got to get the rotation in and everybody contributing so that the main guys can be there down the stretch.
Absolutely. I totally agree. It's like, and it's, those injuries, it depends when they come as well, right? You don't want that guy missing against a divisional game. If he is missing, that's when you really need those guys to really step up. A couple of position battles, I guess, look at probably the two main ones. we kind of highlighted it before, but
yeah,
take a look at the left guard battle and the safety battle. I think those are the two in training camp that really need a lot of work on. I don't think we need to go into names, but I think it's just they're the two we need to really watch. Yep. And then just really seeing how Dre Greenlaw looks. Just is he the guy we remember, or is he just a few years older and just slowed down a pace?
I feel like I've said this a couple of times already tonight, but not to repeat ourselves from previous pods too much, but you hope that year in Denver was his rehab year, because he wasn't great in Denver. He had lost a step there coming back off that Achilles. And yeah, let's just hope that we've got him back close to something like Pete Greenlaw. I mean, mentally, that's always going to be the same. Can the engine match, or can the bodywork rather match the engine?
Yeah. So just has he? You'll know straight away, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you'll see it straight away if he's keeping up with Warner. Obviously said all that kind of stuff, but has he make sure he hasn't just dropped a step? And that kind of rolls into the next thing. The final thing to really watch is just how good this defense is going to be.
Yeah.
As a whole, right? So we've talked about the safeties, talked about the D line, talked about Dre Greenlaw, but Raheem Morris and his whole defense as a whole, obviously Morris has a bit different defense. It's a lot more built around flexibility. I think we were, especially when Bosa went out, we were very predictable last year.
Yeah.
It was very easy to play against, it felt like. But yeah, I think it's about blending that old Niner identity, just that pass rush. And let's hopefully this defense can bounce back to where it belongs.
Yeah, absolutely. I always as well. I never put too much onto training camp as well, because I don't know. Your offense could be brilliant and it could make a good defense look worse than it is, or your defense could be stifling, and against any other of the 31 other NFL teams, we could be like a top 5 defense and make it hard for offense, and that means then the offense looks bad. So it's really difficult to tell. For me, the key for training camp is keeping everybody healthy, giving people opportunities, giving people reps, and kind of assessing what we might have and where those pieces might fit, rather than going, oh, the offense looks amazing. Oh, Brock was 3 out of 10 for 30 yards and 2 picks. Well, that might be good. That might mean that we're getting pressure up front and the DBs are doing the job. So, it's always, I don't think you can read too much into the actual performance of training camp. It is about making sure that the coaches and the general managers, they've got the pieces they want and they're able to slot them into the right slot, in the right positions.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't know what I mean, I've seen a bit more of it on this side, like coaching. I know you've been involved in the past, but they may just be coaching situational football at that time, right?
Yeah.
I remember when Purdy went, I think it wasn't Purdy, I think, actually. It was might have been Garoppolo. I think you were like one of like 10 with like 4
Yeah.
interceptions or something one year. And they
Mhm.
went absolutely crazy. But they were trying to do one very specific thing over and over and over again against a
Yeah.
specific defense.
Mhm.
Maybe teach him not to throw that pass. I don't know what they were doing, but that situational football is you don't know what they're doing. So that, yeah, as you said, don't take too much into it. I think it's just more about I think we'll know pretty quick from the vibes more than anything else. So
Yeah.
but looking forward to it. Nothing else to really say, but I'm just looking forward to seeing stuff coming out from the camps. It's the first open practice today.
Yeah.
For the fans. Man, I would love to get down there just to even watch that. It's
It
only
would be amazing.
$20 to go in as well, man.
I tell you,
it's
yeah.
a deal.
Well, and then all the players come up and see afterwards and the signing stuff, aren't they? It'd be amazing to be down there. It'd be amazing to be down there. But I think, like you say, just final thought, like you put down there, it's not a rebuild. It's not even really a reset. It's kind of just to prove it, see what we've got, and can a roster which is on the aging side, which does have its injury concerns and injury history, can they be supported enough with the new blood to actually put us as a contender in this NFC West?
Yeah, and that's all we're looking for, right? Just to be able to contend, get to the playoffs, and then anything can happen. So
absolutely,
can't wait, mate.
Good stuff, mate. Love it.
Football so close.
No, I can't either. I cannot.
cannot.
Right then. Now I'm a little concerned about this next bit, but we'll give it a go. Here we go.
Halftime.
Right. What you got for me at halftime this week then?
This is kind of a weird one, honestly, Matt, because I was kind of like, oh, what can we do this week? Something a little different. So I was kind of looking into, obviously, that we know a minority shareholder from the Niners ended up buying the Seahawks for $9.6 billion. So I took a look and was like, I wonder how much the teams are worth. So kind of looked at it. So the Seahawks, before they were bought, I think they were valued at 6.7 and they went for 9.6. So I was like, okay, how's that changed the market? Where does the Niners land? Well, the Niners are currently ranked the 6th most valued franchise. So looking at like Forbes, Sportico, things like that.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, who's the highest, who's the lowest kind of thing?
Okay.
I thought,
yeah.
Where do we fit? So we fit in there. We're probably a top 5 or 6 team in the league as far as value. And I was like, where are the other teams? That's kind of interesting. So what I did is I didn't just pick random teams. I broke out the 32 into 5 tiers. So you got a top tier, 3 mid tiers, and then the bottom, right? So you're not like picking. Right. So the teams you'll see, they're not going to pick like 16, 17, and 18 and make it impossible for you. So I've done it like that. So anyway, you just got to rank them in order. So I'm going to give you 5 teams. Just rank them in what you think is highest to lowest. That's simple, right? So I'll start off. The first is the Green Bay Packers, obviously a legacy team around forever. So in these 5 teams, where do you think they're going to drop?
And like you say, I'm talking kind of, what are the tiers again? I've just got a top tier.
Like, there's like a really top tier team.
Yeah.
And so I just split the 32 into like basically 6 brackets.
Okay.
So
all right. I reckon the Packers, I know, like you say, they're a storied franchise. It's all basically Green Bay's got going for it, isn't it? Yeah. Other than the cheese factories. It might be cowardly of me, but I'm going to go 3.
Okay. That's all good. This is a tough one, dude.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, it's tough because I looked at it, and the reason I'm doing this is because I looked at it and I was like, I had no idea. I was all over the shop.
I've got a bit of an idea about who the top tier teams are, but anyway.
Okay, next thing we'll put in the Dolphins.
I'm going 4 for the Fins.
Okay. Next team, the Detroit Lions.
I'm trying to think analytically, but I'm also trying to think whether like some of them are red herrings that are higher than I might think they are. And I don't know whether I'm just thinking of Detroit and Detroit being a very industrial city, and or maybe that's unfair because I've never been to Detroit. I literally just thinking of Beverly Hills Cop.
Man. These references, like half people will hopefully listen to this. I'm going, what was that? They've only seen the Netflix version or something. I don't know.
If you've not seen the original Beverly Hills Cop, people, you need to sort yourself out and go and watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we go. I'm going to go the Lions at 2.
Okay, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the New York Giants.
Well, I've got 1 or 5 left. So because of that, and I'm hoping I'm going to get somebody else at 1, I'm going to go 5 for the Giants.
5 for the Giants.
Because you kind of think New York might be up high, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. I'm going to go 5 because of their struggles in recent decades almost, because they've not really been relevant since like the 2000s, have they? 20 years? Anyway, right.
Anyway,
I'm talking.
And then your final team is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, well, I've got to put them at 1, but I don't think that's right.
No, it's not. Anyway, I'll go through the order. So you went Bengals, Lions, Packers, Dolphins, Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got your Packers right. They are mid-tier. They're the 18th most valued franchise.
How much?
And then it kind of got a bit woolly, and this is where I kind of fell down. I think it's why it's kind of interesting to look at is, so I'll go from the top to bottom. The most highest valued on mine.
What is the high? Well, can I tell you what I think the highest value NFL team is?
Yes.
Is it Dallas?
It is.
Right. So I was hoping you're throwing Dan. Yeah, I was hoping you're going to throw Dallas in there because I would. That's who I was holding out for my number 1 spot. But anyway, okay.
They were valued at $12 billion, and I think if they sell them, it would be north of like 18 to 20 billion if they sold that team.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they're a huge, huge team. So
what are the Packers valued at? Do you know?
Sorry.
The Packers, because we said there were 3.
Yeah, the Packers were looking at like 6.4.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, so in order now, so the Giants are the 3rd ranked team in the NFL.
Oh.
So they're number 1. Yeah, they're number 1 in your list. I was quite surprised as well, but obviously New York, because it takes into account things like stadium money, remember, market. There's all kind of things that go into this, not just the record. And the Dolphins were the 8th overall, so 2nd in my list. Then we said the Packers. The Lions, you had number 2, were actually the 4th on my list. They're ranked down all the way at the 25th.
So if you look at what I've done, I've actually done this right, but just the wrong way around.
Sure. Because the Bengals are last, and then only the last in my list. They're last in the NFL. They're the least valued franchise in the NFL.
Oh, my goodness.
But let's be honest, they're still worth $5.5 billion.
Yeah. So go on then. So 5 point what?
5.5. And I think
right.
It was the first time in history that all franchises went north of 5 billion. So
there's
a lot of money
5.5. What were the Giants? How much were the Giants?
The Giants 10.2.
Wow. So I was just looking at the split. So if you got 10.2 down to 5.5, then yes, 5 billion is a considerable difference between the top and the bottom, isn't it? Value, yeah, definitely.
And if you start looking at things like projected sales, like even because obviously the market skewed with the Seahawks sale, they went up to 9 billion. But even if you looked at projected sales, they were only still ranked middle of the road. Like Niners are worth probably 12.5. It's a lot of money in this league. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting. It's like how much value this is. And I honestly had no idea the Bengals were down at the bottom.
No. And again, I'm saying this next comment from a very kind of judgmental, if you like, standpoint and position. And if I think about the cities that you've just talked about, you've got New York at the top, Miami, Green Bay, Detroit, Cincinnati. You kind of think about the teams towards the top. Then are they seem to be more almost of the touristy areas in a way? Is that fair? Or
I think this. Well, I also think as well, Cincinnati is probably stealing fans from Detroit, right? There's a lot of teams around there. Chicago's are probably around there as well. I don't think Chicago's ranked that high either. It's probably just because a lot of those teams share the same market.
More condensed. Yeah.
Well, if you look at like the Niners, they got the whole of Northern California. Seahawks get the whole of Seahawks get like 4 states just to them.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. What about the poor old New York Jets? What are you saying about the Giants being at the top there?
The Jets, poor old The Jets they're the 9th ranked, dude.
Wow. Yeah.
So you team like the Jets, who are like ridiculed forever, they're still worth a pretty penny. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, there are. I mean, I have one in my household, but there are some delusional people who wear green and white.
You still love him though.
Oh, of course, I love him, and genuinely, honestly, just having been there and having watched the Jets, a couple of years back, they're the second team I root for. I'm not a fan of the Jets in terms of, because I'm a 49ers fan, and I don't get these people who are going, "Oh, my first team's this, my second team's this." But if I want another team to do well, and yes, it's partly because of my son, but I genuinely want the Jets to do better.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of so do I. There's a few you meet your mates, right? Yeah, but even your mates, like some of their teams, like, oh yeah, it'd be nice for them to get a win. But
yeah, as long as it's not against us.
Friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're quite right. Right, interesting, good stuff. Really interesting. Enjoyed that. Okay,
all right, mate.
Back to the quiz book next week. Right, here we go.
Third quarter.
Third quarter is upon us, and I'm always a fan of this particular one because it's time to have a look at our jersey schedule for 2026. I tell you what, I'm also interested in. I'm interested in seeing the rivalries jerseys that are coming out this year for the other two divisions.
I'm kind of happy to sticking with this one for another year as well. Got another year out of it. That's kind of nice.
Well, I assume that one. Will that not just stay around now as long as there are rivalry games until the whole league catches up?
Yeah, and it probably just goes through till the next, hopefully, to the next rinse and repeat kind of cycle. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that, especially against the Rams as well.
Yeah, so I think to myself, those rivalry jerseys, I think we've got for at least 4 seasons, because obviously at the end of this year there'll be 4 divisions. 4 divisions, and obviously there's 4 more divisions to go for the next 2 years. So anyway, so there we go. Then we've got it. I love the throwbacks. I love these throwbacks. I love the rivalries, and I understand why they've got to have more with the traditional away and the traditional home. But I always wish they'd do more with the throwbacks. I think there's one. They think it's just the Chargers in the white throwback, literally 1 game, and then 2 in the red, the Cowboys and the Eagles. If you can just see that graphic ever so blurred down the bottom. Like you say, the Rams in the rivalries, that'll be good. And I think that's when they're at Levi's as well, isn't it? It's obviously not the first game of the season. So that's a bit later on when we're at home, which is great. And then the whites and the reds, 1 more red than white. That's what I kind of think. You have 6 white, you could have 6 red, and then throw another one of those white throwbacks in.
Whites. Yeah, they do look good. I mean, the jersey you're wearing right now, it looks fire, dude. And I love this one, dude. I actually love it. I mean, it's so nice. It's just spent the money. Got a nice one.
Who you got there?
54, Fred. Baby.
Of course, you got Fred. I went with Juice. In fact, he's on there. I've got the Juice one just because I've not got a Juice jersey in. But they're good.
I know we spoke about that at length when they came out. Like, who you gonna get?
Yeah. and talking about the Jets as well. My sons both got one. Dan got a Kittle one. Dan went Kittle. My eldest son, and my youngest son bought a Jets one. And the Gotham City, the dark green, they're beautiful. But he got Sauce Gardner, and 2 weeks later, Sauce got traded to the Colts.
Oh dear.
But it is it's a beautiful jersey. They really are nice jerseys.
And then I was reading about the NFC, the AT patch. Have you seen that?
Yes.
The patch on the jersey.
You can scan it.
But it's got a built-in like NFC, or not the conference, but the phone thing. And then so you can scan it, and it you can do enter stuff, like buy different. I don't know. It seems like a weird thing to do, but that's pretty crazy. But it looks nice, and I think it looks good on the jersey as well.
Yeah, where are we? We're in Silicon Valley, aren't we? We're in the home of technology. Why wouldn't we do something like that? Are you getting one?
Cool. Yeah, probably.
Red or white?
I haven't got many white jerseys. I've got this one. I think I've got like 3 red jerseys and 1 white one.
Okay.
And some of I don't think the white one fits me anymore, to be honest with you.
So I've got this in white. I've got a Garoppolo one like this. I've got a Fred red throwback. And then I've got a Navarro Bowman old black one when we had the black and red. Just literally black and red numbers. I've got the Juice Rivalries one. And I've got a Montana and Rice, Mitchell and Ness, other companies are available, throwback red jersey. So So I've not really got a current, not got a current red or a current home white.
No.
And this is the problem though, isn't it? I'm always very much kind of, do you get somebody like Striblin, who is he going to make the roster? Is he going to be impactful? Do you get somebody like Evans who's just turned up, and how long is he going to be with us? Do you get, I don't know, I've not got a CMC jersey, but how long is he going to be with us? But then when he does retire, he's always going to be a Niner legend.
Right.
You know, you don't want, like my son with the Sauce Gardner one, you don't want somebody who, because I to be honest, I thought Sauce was going to be a Jet for a long time. I genuinely did. And then he jumped ship, and it's that sort of, it's a lot of money to spend in a day and age where it is a business and players sometimes are so fickle.
Honestly, yeah, I spent the money on this one. It's the limited, it's the stitched one, and it was like, and it was just, that's all that ran in my mind. I was like, I have to buy someone like you getting the juice one. I've got to spend the money on something that's going to get at least a bit of return on investment, a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And as you say, even if they leave the team, 1 or 2 years, they're still going to be legends, and you can still wear that jersey.
So. Absolutely so. Good stuff. Generally speaking, I love the 4 jerseys that we've got. You know, the actual alternates and one thing or another, or the 5 jerseys. In fact, haven't we, with the white throwbacks? I'm a big fan of the range of our jerseys, and what I do like, just flipping over, we'll talk about this maybe in the next segment, but have you seen the latest Nottingham Forest jersey with the mist?
I do. I like it. It kind of looked a little funny when it first came out, but now I've seen if you wear it in pre-season friendlies, it looks good.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But you see, and with Premier League teams and soccer football teams in general, they change that jersey every single year, don't they? Yeah. You know, so it's not even like you can wear it for a couple of years and get wear out of it and be up to date.
All 3 of them as well. They'll change all 3 of them.
That's right. Absolutely. Crazy. It's crazy money.
It is a lot of money. So yeah, I think that's the thing. Like when you pick a player, hopefully. Well, I remember I got Alex Smith when that first dropped. Yeah, it wasn't a great choice. But then he came good again, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
Now you're making me remember. I've got a white Alex Smith one as well. But I tend to think, when I'm thinking about the jerseys I've got, I just think about the stitch ones I've got. The screen print ones, I kind of go, they're not a proper jersey.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. Stuff. I enjoyed that.
Let's roll on. Yeah, nice. I like it. And again, that's another nice thing in the off season, knowing what we're going to wear and when, and getting your fit sorted for the season. Happy days. I've just got to convince the wife to spend another $130 odd. Anyway, here we go.
Overtime.
It's not overtime. It's this.
Fourth quarter.
I like it.
I honestly wasn't hinting. I've not had enough. I don't want to stop.
Let's go. I'm hungry.
But yeah. So into the fourth quarter. Oh, it's lunchtime with you now, isn't it? In fact, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Have you missed lunch?
No, I'm all good.
All right, cool. So so you kind of put this segment out there. Tell us a little bit about it then. We're talking American football every week, the 49ers, but obviously we know that you're a bigger Premier League soccer fan than I am, but I've obviously follow football in this country and Forest, and really enjoyed the World Cup. Absolutely thrilled that Argentina lost the final, and what a game that fourth playoff was. Anyway, we digress. Go for it, mate. Why are we talking about Premier League football here?
It's kind of funny. I was like at work. Where I work, there's a lot of people from all over the country, and World Cup has had an impact. There's no doubt about it. People are talking about soccer who are huge NFL fans. Mm-hmm. And anyway, a mate of mine asked me, he's a Giants fan. He's like, he asked me, which team should I support in the Premier League? And I was there with another guy, and we were talking about, who you should support and stuff. I just kind of thought, well, I wonder if there's any Niner fans out there who are listening to this who've maybe caught the soccer bug, if you want, after the World Cup, and they're looking for a Premier League team to support. So I kind of did a little bit of stuff and research, and came up with 3 teams.
Okay.
And I think they're all options. 2 of them I would definitely go for. I personally wouldn't choose the first option, but it has probably the biggest link to the Niners. Yeah. So let's start with those first. And the first option is, if you just want to go for a straight Niners connection, it's Leeds United. They're owned by the 49ers. Parag Marath is their chairman, and so there's direct connection to our team. So there's an option for you right there.
Well, equally as well, with we had the president of the 49er Faithful UK fan club on. We had the vice president, that's Lee Gowland, a few weeks back. We had the vice president on, Paul Hope, a couple of weeks before that. They're both from the north of England, northeast of England. But I know there have been watch parties at Leeds United organised by the 49ers over the last couple of seasons. And you can understand why, because like you say, yeah, Leeds actually are owned by 49ers Enterprises. So yes, if you are looking at, if you're out in the US there or wherever else around the world, I think if you're in the UK watching this, you've probably got your own team already. But hey, but yeah, Leeds is a good shout. As a Forest fan, wouldn't touch them with a barge pole. But hey, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
And I kind of like to put a little thing in here. It says choose Leeds if you want a genuine connection, and then you want a team that makes your life unnecessarily stressful. So yeah, I mean that's just purely the link. The next one is probably the modern choice that probably aligns best with what the Niners are now, and it's definitely more the Shanahan era. Is probably Arsenal. I think they're a detailed coach, elite roster. They've got some homegrown superstars. I've stumbled across this comment. I was goofing around a bit. Mikel Arteta is a Shanahan with fewer hats, but even more staring. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I think this is probably the team that represents the most modern 49ers experience. But yeah, and you can't go wrong with them.
Well, you can't, up until this season, you'd have said they're very much like the Niners, get so close every single year, and then somehow manage to throw it away. But the one difference between Arsenal and the 49ers at the moment is that Arsenal are the current Premier League champions of 2025-26. So let's fingers crossed, hope that with this, we create some voodoo or something somewhere where the Niners win this next season. But yeah, I think that's a really good analogy. Yeah, Declan Rice being the Fred Warner figure in midfield, I love that. I really do like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just aligns, like you said, especially if they hadn't have won the league last year, it'd have been a perfect alignment. I mean, it is exactly like it. And then flipped over to more historical choice. I think if you're looking at a legendary team who's won in the past, is known for their coaching and their players. And especially if you like the Montana, Rice, and Walsh era, and history really matters to you, I think you're probably going to have to line yourself with Liverpool. I really tried to crowbar Forest in here, dude, but it ain't going to happen. The Niners have just won too much in the past, and I think that's where this really lines up with the Liverpool choice.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, Liverpool were similar era, actually. Were huge in the 80s. They've had European Cup success. They've had League Cup success over here, Premier League success, old Division 1 success. But like you say, it is in kind of the similar time frame that the Niners were in the kind of 80s and 90s, a little bit more. So I think that's a pretty good comparison, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact. The one thing I do like, the fact that we're Forest fans, that we both wear red. Obviously, Liverpool wear red, Arsenal wear red, Leeds are white, yellow, and blue. That sounds like the Rams to me. Don't touch it with a barge pole. I was kind of disappointed, actually, when I heard that the 49ers had bought Leeds. I was like, come on, buy Forest.
I know.
But hey, we're only like an hour down the road. Come on. Anyway, but yeah, I do like that fact that Forest are red and white and we're kind of red, white, and gold. And yeah, so that's a nice little link. But yeah, like you say, I think that analogy to historically the similarities between the 49ers and Liverpool, I think you've nailed that. Absolutely.
And honestly, if I was a team right now in the Premier League, and I know Forest have been linked with him, with Balogun, right? The striker for the US. I would go for it, because I'm telling you now, you'd make more off your jersey sales on his transfer fee straight away, because it's hot over here right now. And even a friend of mine the other day, he's like, "Oh man, did you hear Balogun might join Forest?" Like, he'd never spoken to me about football before in his life, and he's like, "Oh, did you?" I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty interesting." It's so who knows? But yeah, I thought it's a little bit interesting. Just round it out before the season starts, and other stuff to talk about next week.
Well, very quickly before we go away from the Prem, Forest have been in pre-season action last couple of weeks. They're looking decent, aren't they? I know it's only pre-season, but they've beaten Notts County, they've beaten Blackburn, and I think today they've drawn.
Yeah, Victoria or something.
Yeah, 1-1. I think they drew, but
drew 1-1.
But again, I mean, are we going to hang on to Morgan Gibbs White?
Who knows?
How do you? Very quickly, I know this isn't necessarily the right forum, but how do you feel about Elliot Anderson going to Man City?
Well, it was his time. Let's be honest. Yeah. He was probably England's second best player in the World Cup, I think.
Okay.
He's made a lot of those World Cup like 11s, him and Bellingham. Yeah. So he's clearly he's a superstar now, and and he's getting paid £250,000 a week.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
So
wow. Fair enough.
But I think we did it the right way. And I think and you can see it comparable to the Niners. If a Niner player leaves and he leaves on the right terms and it's the right time and then you can come back, not a problem. Dre Greenlaw springs to mind, right?
Definitely.
You didn't hold anything against him. And I think Elliot did it in the right way. He left Forest in the right way, made a lot of money for us, and maybe improves the team moving forward. So, it's very applicable, I think, from trading for draft picks, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely so. It's a good shout. And you could easily argue that he was one of the main reasons we survived last year.
Absolutely. So, he kept us in the league and made us a big pot of cash. So, anyway.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
We digress. Yeah, this isn't the Forest Premier League show. This is the UK Niner podcast. That has been episode 13. Any OT stuff? Don't think we have today.
Not really. I did look at the new Madden game. I don't know if you saw that drop.
Oh.
So
bear with me a minute.
Madden.
Bear with me a minute.
Come in.
Okay.
But they
bear
got
with me a minute.
They got the new. You got something? You showing it?
Yeah. Bear with me a minute.
Overtime.
I've got the graphic. I may as well use it twice.
You might as well.
Right. Cool.
Anyway, so there's a new. I don't know, the career progression thing.
Okay, new mode.
Yeah, but it's like got the GOAT mode in there, and you earn and you can retire now. You can retire, get nominated for the Hall of Fame, so on and so forth. But if you follow the GOAT mode all the way through, the two quarterbacks at the end. So I think halfway through the progression, you get to Steve Young kind of thing.
Okay.
But you get all the way to the progression, all the way to the end. It's our friends Brady and Montana are the two faces behind the. So if you become the GOAT in Madden, they're the two players you're up against with. It was just kind of cool just to see Montana's face on there. It's kind of fun.
Excellent. Yeah. Let's hope he doesn't get hit with a Madden curse.
No. I don't think his impact on the game will be too much, but But it's just kind of fun. Just have a little look. And the college is coming out now. I think that's been reviewed recently, but I don't think there's much change from last year.
No. Well, I must say that's what I'm playing at the moment. I'm currently, I'm with Alabama at the minute, but I've just signed a contract to be the head coach of Stanford next year. So I'm looking forward to coming back to the West Coast. Currently just beating Notre Dame in the first round of the college football playoffs, which is good. Now got to play number 2 ranked, the Gators, Florida Gators. So I'm not too, I think I'm going down. I think I've got as far as I'm going to get. And I don't know why I'd leave Alabama for Stanford because the Stanford roster doesn't look great, but hey, I like a challenge. Anyway.
There you go.
Mate, it's been that's it. That's kind of what it said, job opportunities, and Stanford was there, and I was like, I'm going to go from Alabama to Stanford. Yeah. But I think I've got you at quarterback, so I've got to get you got to get some off-season work in, buddy.
I'll do my best.
All right.
Hit the gym.
Right. Hey, pleasure as always, mate. Thank you ever so much. To you guys out there, that's been episode 13. Training camp is underway. Football is around the corner. The first preseason game is August the 13th, I believe, against the Tennessee Titans. So we can't wait for that one. It's not proper football, but it's football. And then before you know it, we're into September and we go down under for week 1 in Melbourne against the Rams. It'll be here before you know it. I don't want to wish my summer holidays away, but can't wait for the fall, as you guys would say. Autumn is around the corner. Football season's nearly here. Neil, thanks ever so much, bud.
Yeah, it was fun, buddy. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. We'll catch you guys again, same time next week. Have a good week, everybody. Stay safe and bang, bang, Niner gang.